This is to review FitStart, our annual 8-week challenge. It's 40 days. Those are active challenge days, and that is because it is a Monday through Friday challenge. And then, of course, the one goal with FitStart is really to enhance your overall well-being. And you may have those individual goals that you are going to work on during those 8 weeks throughout the challenge. Maybe. There we go. So what is FitStart? For those of you that have never participated, or maybe you participated last year, but you were like, I don't know, someone said join a team. FitStart is a small teams wellness challenge, and it has kind of evolved over the last, I would say probably the last 3 years, especially since COVID and becoming part of LiveWell OU. There are team goals and individual challenges. As I mentioned, 8 weeks. So this will end in March. The focus is on your overall well-being. We kind of mix in the 8 dimensions of wellness into the activities, those individual weekly challenges that you'll see. And you can earn up to 520 points during this challenge. There are some opportunities for like bonus points or extra points, and we'll dive into those in just a moment. So requirements to participate, there are a couple requirements. You must have your LiveWell account because this is done through the wellness portal, as most of you are probably already in it, or if you're not, you need to make sure you have your portal account. Team members of 2 to 3, and you're probably like, well, what if I have 4 people? If you have 4 people, you can do 2 teams, and you can still kind of create that camaraderie and togetherness by having those 2 teams. Then you need to create your wellness goal. That needs to be entered into the portal by January 31st. Not necessarily to participate, that was poor verbiage on my end that I typed in there, but to get your points at the end of the challenge that you have worked on earning as a team and individually. And then, of course, have fun. Don't stress through the challenge. It really is a lot of fun, especially when you're engaging with your team members and you are enjoying those weekly challenges. Let me pull my chat back up. Oh, I see someone looking for a team member. Perfect. So if anyone has a team that is looking for a team member, you can pop it in the chat, or you can go in the portal into the challenge and pop it in the chat. You're welcome to send us an email, and we're happy to help find you a team. I would recommend sending us an email real quick, so that way we have your name, and that way we actually have an official communication, so we can help you a little bit better. So Diana and need teams. Perfect. Maybe you two could be on a team. That might be fun. You're still welcome to send us an email, and maybe we can connect you two via email to get the team going. And encourage that. Oh, I clicked off my presentation. All right, so I mentioned that you need to set that wellness goal. The wellness goal, some of you may have noticed, you're like, why are we setting a wellness goal? Because we do these challenges, we start out the new year, and we just kind of hit the ground running, and we don't come up with a feasible, realistic, timely, measurable plan. And so we transitioned FitStart from having body weight, height measurements to a more of a personal wellness goal. So that way, if your goal is to maintain, lose weight, or it's a professional well-being goal, it's a little bit more personal to you, and it's customizable to what you're interested in. And you can use some of the things within FitStart to get there. So we have that Goal Getters workshop that will be on January 20th at 11 a.m. It will be via Zoom. Dr. Amy Davenport, the director of OU Fit and Rec, will be presenting this for us. She does a great job. She'll go over how to use the SMART goals model to create feasible wellness goals and plans. And so I would encourage you, if you would like to join, register for it. You can listen in into that meeting as well. So this is also a specific opportunity for FitStart participants. So we wanted to do something special with the change of having you enter a wellness goal. So FitStart points. I mentioned you can earn up to 520 points. So there are your team goals and then your individual wellness challenges. So you can earn 15 points a week for meeting each of your team goals together. So there's 15 points for meeting the sleep goals, 15 points for meeting the fruit and veggie serving goals, and then 15 points a week for meeting the team step goals. And then there's the 20 points a week for completing your weekly individual challenges. And the point totals in the challenge, they start to add in the challenge weekly. After that first week, we have to manually enter it in. So there's a manual process, but all points under your account that you earned as a team and from completing the challenges will be entered in by the end of March after the challenge has been completed. So they'll go under this first quarter points. And these points are also listed on the details on the portal under the challenge. I just wanted to give you a visual aid for it, because sometimes it's a little bit confusing if you don't have it explained. So when I said there's team goals, so those steps, those fruit and veggies, and then the hours of sleep, if you are on a team of 2, those goals look different than the team of 3. So teams of 2, you're aiming for that 75,000 steps a week together. And this is a total lump sum. So if one of you gets more steps than the other, and the other one is just a couple thousand behind, but your teammate has made up for that, that's what it's doing. It's just totaling those steps. So you don't have to necessarily every single day get the bare minimum, which would be the 7,500. Sally could get 8,000 and you could get 7,000, for example. You're working together to hit these goals. 40 servings of fruit and vegetables per week. This is also a lump sum total, and then a total of 60 hours of sleep per week. Teams of 3, you're aiming for the 112,500 steps per week, and then 60 servings of fruit and veggies per week, and then 90 hours of sleep per week as a team. You're probably like, you keep putting emphasis on this, but I'm trying to emphasize that you are doing this as a team. You're working together on the team goals together. You're eating, sleeping, walking, housework, chores, things like that. We'll dive into logging stuff like that as well. And these are completed on a weekly basis. They're point driven, and then your data for each week is due that following Tuesday. Each weekly individual challenge will also have a reminder to enter in your weekly challenges that you've completed, as well as, hey, make sure you have entered in your week 1 steps, fruit, veggies, and sleep for the challenge by this time. And I see some questions about physical activity and converting them to steps. I also go over that as well, and I see Lindsay answered too. So logging your daily biomarkers, we call the steps, the sleep, the fruit and veggies biomarkers. You have an entry tab for biomarkers on the challenge itself, where you can enter in exercise, the vegetables and fruit, and then the sleep as well. Things that you have to log under this tab would be your fruit and vegetable servings. If you have a device that syncs your dietary input from the app to the portal, it does not communicate with the challenge. This is something that we can't change on our end. It's just how the challenge is set up itself. So everyone, regardless of if you have a device that syncs that or not, will have to enter in your fruit and vegetable servings. If you do not have a fitness device that syncs sleep to the portal, you will need to enter in that data there. And then, of course, steps, you can enter those there or use the add exercise feature as well. See a question, do I? So for physical activity, you can actually track that under anywhere in the portal, and it communicates with the actual challenge itself. Fruit and vegetable servings are the exception where you actually have to go into the challenge, as well as sleep, if you don't have a fitness device that communicates that data. Logging your physical activity. So I mentioned you can sync a compatible device. There's several devices that will talk with the portal. The Apple Health Kit is one of those apps that talks to a few other local fitness devices as well in apps. You're welcome. So you can sync a device if you have one, or if you're getting one. These are the compatible ones. Don't make sure you get the one that's best for you, not one that is just compatible with the portal. Get the one that fits your needs best, if that's what you're doing. And then of course you can manually log. So you can do the add exercise option. If you're on the home page of the wellness portal, on the far right side, if you scroll down, there is the add exercise option, which also has a little box down at the bottom. After you select, and to do that, it can convert into steps there. But then there's also the steps converter option. So if you're doing an activity that doesn't necessarily count your steps, like dishes and vacuuming, biking, things like that, swimming might not catch all of your steps or the step equivalent. You can convert that activity there. I included screenshots right here for you all, so you have a visual when you go look at it if you've never used it before. The steps converter and add exercise options do communicate with the challenge itself.
And Kaylee, if I can add to this real quick.
Yeah.
Like we've had people in the past during the challenge that maybe they had an injury come up, they hurt their knee or something along those lines. So it kind of sidelined them a little bit from what they were used to doing as far as their physical activity with steps and what have you. So, we want to make sure that this is a really inclusive challenge. So if you have any other different, dietary requirements, so the fruits and veggies, maybe you need to kind of alter that a little bit because of something that you're working on with your provider, because of different medical needs or something like that, please reach out to us. We can modify a little bit for you because we still want you to be able to participate. Same thing with physical activity. So you're not just limited to actual like steps. If we kind of needed to tweak it a little bit based off anything and medical needs, please reach out to us and we're happy to help with that.
And if you have a worry that you don't want your team member to know you have something going on, but they might need to know in case there is an adjustment needing to be made in one of the areas, we can send out a generic email. I have done this for several years now, where it's like you have a team member that will be having an adjusted fruit and veggie consumption log, or different steps log instead of what the goal is at face. So your account won't reflect the new goal. Sorry, I'm stammering on my words here, trying to come up with the best way to say it. But so we do work with employees and participants on those as well as needed. But we have to know, that's the big thing. You have to talk to us or we don't know. That's the biggest thing. Is we've had people come to us and say, I wasn't able to do this because I couldn't walk, or I was in a boot, or XYZ. So they dropped out of the challenge. But they could have participated if we had known that we needed to modify a little bit to change it up to help you meet a goal. Then that's what we can do. Just got to tell us. Well, there we go. So fruit and vegetable servings, this is a lump sum. There's this image of the fruit and vegetables, what a serving looks like in comparison. We get a lot of questions about what is a serving and what that looks like. Your servings are logged as a total of both. I know I've said that about 2 to 3 times now, but I'm really trying to drive that home. So that way you're not like, I haven't touched a fruit in a year. So I don't even know if I'm going to get 2 servings of fruit a day. This is just what is recommended. You can look up the recommendations as well for specific diets and age ranges and children and things like that. But this is just the basic level for that, and just giving you a visual aid. So you're just going to log if you eat more than 5 a day. Fantastic. You're going to help those team members out that are like, I cannot even look at broccoli. You're going to help that person out if you eat more than 5 a day. So you're really working together. And of course, this challenge is supposed to help encourage you as long as you are able to consume more fruits and vegetables within your dietary needs to do that. As Lindsay mentioned, dietary restrictions, physical activity, things like that. not a problem. Just send us an email. I provided the emails there. And then again, at the end of this presentation. Did we have a question? No, okay. So individual weekly challenges. So in addition to those team goals, you're eating, you're sleeping, you're getting physical activity in every day, each week. There are fun, I think they're fun little individual weekly challenges for you to complete. And so there's different challenges. They kind of switch it up. Some of them might look similar each week. But you complete in the challenge and you mark them yes or no. It's nothing extensive where I need you to log every single thing you did for that specific thing. But you just have to complete 3 of 5 of the challenges each week. And then you get 20 points each week for completing that minimum. And that's individual points. That doesn't go to the team points, that goes to you. So essentially that adds up to the potential 520 that you can earn, but these are based off you as an individual completing them. So there's no reliance on your team member if they didn't show up to do it. If you're doing it together, it doesn't penalize you at all. And there's 5 different categories this year. So if you participated last year, you noticed we did this last year, but we had it set through Monday through Friday, and each day there was a different one you could pick from. This year, we did 5 different categories: nourish, mindset, move, reset, and wildcard. And you get to pick from those 5 categories to kind of plan out your week of what you want to do. So logging those individual weekly challenges, there is a daily challenge tab. Tomorrow, it's not there yet. So this is the best screenshot I could come up with for a yes, no tab. So you're going to mark yes, or just leave it for no. You don't have to do anything if you didn't complete 3 of the 5 for that week. And that's all you have to do for that by the following Tuesday around the same time that you would do your logging all of your weekly team goals. So the weekly team challenges are supposed to be released Thursday of the upcoming week. I know today's Thursday. It's not there yet. I have an email in. So tomorrow I asked them to please get it out by tomorrow morning at the latest. And then it should be Thursdays every upcoming week, next upcoming week. Mark yes or no. Again, just yes. Leave it alone if it's a no. And that's about it for that part. I promise that's probably the easiest part, is yes or no. And if it's no, you don't even have to do anything. All right. So I'm trying to keep this a little quick and easy for you all. So this is what week 1 will look like. So you have your 5 categories. So week 1, next Monday, I know it's a holiday, but you should still be eating and moving your body to some amount, right? Those basic things, and you should still be sleeping at bare minimum. Even if it's 3 hours, you should still be sleeping. So under nourish, each week there's going to be an incorporation with nutrition. So nourish for week 1 is an incorporating brown and white produce, and it kind of goes over some of the additional benefits under those colored foods. And then it also lists a few ideas for white and brown produce. So that way, in case you're like, what do I eat that's brown? Or what is produce that is white? And we provided a few ideas and for you to work off of. Movement, start your day with a quick 5-minute stretch. There's a link if you're like, I don't know what to stretch. What do I do? There's a quick 5-minute morning stretch routine to ease your way into your day. Reset, each day is new. Start your day with a positive affirmation and positive thoughts. The goal for this one is to pick 1 or 2 affirmations and repeat it 3 times to yourself with intention. So that means intentionally repeating it to kind of bring it to life. And you can also click on the link and it should take you to some positive affirmations if you don't even know where to start. Mindset, if you're feeling overwhelmed, I don't know about you, but there's at least one day in the week where my brain gets a little overwhelmed and it needs a break. So take a 5-minute break to refresh your mind, take a few steps back, and then try some deep breathing during the break. Some few deep breaths, breathe in for about maybe 3 to 5 seconds, hold it for about 2 to 3, and then slowly let out for like another 3 to 5 seconds. And just do that a couple times if you're feeling overwhelmed or like your anxiety is just going out the window and you can't catch yourself. And then wild card is kind of, it could be nutrition, it could be movement, it could be anything. Could be a little more intense, but wild card is for week 1, take 15 to 20 minutes and complete the workout 2 to 3 times. And so it lists the workout below: the 5 push-ups, 10 squats, 5 toe touches, and then the 15-second wall sit. Now, if you are like, I haven't done a push-up in a long time, I cannot get on the floor, let's modify that. You can use the wall. You can use a sturdy desk or surface to angle yourself. You don't have to be on the floor to do a push-up necessarily. Now, if you're like, I'm going to do it on the floor, go for it. But modify these as you need and within your limits. That it's really to have fun with and give you something to go off of. Same with squats and toe touches. Do it to your best ability, and we can modify those as needed as well. So it doesn't have to be the traditional push-up, squat, toe touch, or wall sit. Modify those because starting right off, they can be kind of hard. But I bet if you do this once a week and start practicing it, you'll get better and better. And then at the bottom of this, you'll see that week 1, many challenges, and team goals that they need to be entered in by January 24th, 11:59 p.m. So that following Tuesday after next week, you'll have to have those entered in, because this is a manual behind the scenes challenge where we actually have to pull the reports and enter in the data and convert a few things. Lindsay, do you have any questions that I might be missing? My chat box is hiding. I can't get it.
So far so good. Just a
Okay.
reminder that this challenge, it is really unique compared to like all our other challenges, really, because the focus is on the traditional work week of Monday through Friday. So yeah, we can't use Saturday and Sunday as like our catch up of steps or fruits and veggies and stuff. I think many of us struggle with that, really stay on top of our healthy habits during the work week, Monday through Friday. So this is really kind of that idea of, hey, let's work together and support each other, of trying to really hone in on those healthy habits even during the work week, because we can't catch up on our sleep on the weekends. That's just not possible. It seems like maybe we can, but we really want to incorporate those things on a daily basis.
Yes. And week 2, this is what week 2 will look like. So nourish, the goal is to drink more water. There's an article on hydration importance and stuff like that. So it's just to be mindful and that you are hydrating. You could do this one day that week. You could, I encourage you to do it 7 days a week, but baby steps. If you're someone that's like, I don't drink water, I don't eat hydrating foods, this is for you. Let's work it in. Some movement. There's a spell your name workout. Essentially, it's the alphabet, goes A through Z, and there's a workout associated with each letter. If you have a really, really, really long name, you're probably going to be like, I only want to do this one time. If you have a short name like Lee, we're going to go with Lee because there's 3 letters, or Joy or something like that. You might add your middle name, or maybe you could, if your team is in person and you are not all remote or from different campuses or states even, you could do your team name once or twice together if you wanted, as long as that's within your means. For reset, this one's about going to bed early, getting enough sleep that night. So at least pick one day that week to get some sleep and really reset. Mindset, unplug during lunch, stay off your phones and computers for that lunch break at least twice that week, and then give yourself time to be present with yourself and others. It's really easy to sit there, and I call it mindless scrolling through social media or my email or research articles. I tend to just wrap my mind into things without pausing, taking a deep breath, appreciating what's out in front of me, the trees, the air, my coworkers, whoever's with me. Make it a point to be present with yourself or others if you're eating with somebody else. Wild card, skip on the Starbucks coffees, teas, or delicious pastries that week for week 2, and save a little bit of money. That's a little bit of financial right there, because sometimes people don't realize how much those little delectable pastries add up, especially like at Starbucks or a specialty shop. When you're getting those, they can be $3-4 sometimes a piece, depending on where you're going. And they add up quickly if it's a Monday through Friday thing. Week 2 mini challenges and team goals also need to be entered in by January 31st at 11:59 p.m. So it's all by the end of the day on that next Tuesday for each week as you go on. So it's the first 2 weeks. These will be available in the portal. And then as your weeks open up, you'll be able to go back and forth and look at them more.
Haley, we had a quick question dropped in the chat. So when it comes to those team biomarkers, so how does that work? If an individual achieves their minimums, like we've kind of drawn out, like, hey, if everyone hits the minimums, this is how you can really hit the team goal altogether. But if an individual on the team, gets that minimum, but their other team members, maybe, the other 1 or 2 doesn't quite hit those minimums, what happens in regards to points overall? Like how do they need to kind of strategically work through that?
So technically you don't necessarily get the points. However, if you are week 2, week 3, I would say by week 3, and your team members have not logged anything at all, send us an email and we can work with you, because there are occasionally sometimes those teams that get together and it's not necessarily intentional or meant to be malicious or anything like that, but the other team members might not be participating hardly at all, but you have one team member that is really active and doing it. If you can communicate with us, we can work with you. But I would say kind of watch by week 3, no later than week 3, because if you start hitting week 6, 7, and 8, even 5, for example, if we're a little over halfway through the challenge, and there's been no communication, there's not a lot we can really do, and we didn't really necessarily know about it. Yes, we see the data, but this is just one of the many wellness things going on at that time, and you have to communicate with us, so we have like a list that we keep track of to make sure we're monitoring and things like that. And then we can work with you in regards to points for that, Regina.
And I would also encourage not just going for each person, just going for the bare minimum. Don't stop there. It's like, hey, if you want to get more physical activity in and you're capable, why not keep going? Because then it's going to all work out together. Sometimes that's what's great, what's kind of there to be a support system for each other. Sometimes there's going to be, have you ever had a tough week or tough couple days or whatever? And that's that can happen with some of your accountability buddies. And if the rest of you are there to be like, hey, we're here to help you out, pick you up, had a rough week, you know what, you're going to get right back on track the next week. And you know what, we're here to help you and carry you through as well. Not carry you through the entire challenge. But yeah, definitely sometimes we do have those rough days or rough weeks. I think just finding a way to keep that communication open between team members and help each other out. And yeah, I encourage you to do, if you're capable, to do a little bit more than the minimum if you have a team member struggling.
Yes, I can tell you that the last 3 physical activity challenges I did in 2022, I injured myself every single time leading up to or right in the beginning of it. And so my team members, I communicated with them and they were like, yeah, stay on, we'll work together. And they carried me on that aspect and I carried them on other parts of the challenge. So really that part is really about working together. But there, as I mentioned, there are some of those teams and team members that don't necessarily understand that by not participating, it affects the person that is participating point wise for those team goals. So let us know. So bonus points and a couple reminders, just a few things to kind of take away again. Extra points, these are optional. So today you can log this as an intellectual wellness workshop. But moving forward, 2 weeks from today, we do bi-weekly challenge overviews, and we'll go over the next upcoming 2 weeks of the mini challenges. And you get to log those as you attend those and complete them under intellectual wellness as like a mini talk for 25 points, because those will be really short and sweet. They won't be anything as long as today. They'll be about 15 to 20 minutes max, most likely, unless there's a ton of questions. So, but those are optional as well. It's just another way for you to get points, and those points, because you're going to be logging them yourself under intellectual wellness as we complete them, you'll get those 25 points immediately. And then a few reminders. I know I've said some of these a couple times, but I'm going to repeat them again to make sure it's sticking in our brains. Weekly challenges are released Thursday prior coming to the upcoming week. The exception is this week 1 has not launched yet. I have a email put in to get that adjusted. You're working together as a team to hit those weekly steps, fruit, veggie, and then those sleep targets. Work together, go above and beyond in some areas if you're able to, like Lindsay mentioned, because really you are working together on those. And then the weekly team and individual challenges, those need to be entered in by the following Tuesday of the week you've just completed. And that is about it. If you have questions, I'm happy to hang out, stay around. If you need to see something in the portal, I can show you that as well. But if you need to get in touch with us, there's a few ways. The main way would be through our 2 emails, the wellness@ouhsc.edu and then the wellness@ou.edu. Lindsay and I both have access to those, and you can just reach out to either one and we'll answer you. Our information is listed on the HR website under the wellness tab. We have social media accounts, and then the YouTube channel where we log all of our recorded workshops as well. But I greatly appreciate everyone for taking a little bit of their time. I was hoping to keep this under 40 minutes for you all. I greatly appreciate you taking time to hang out with us, learn about the challenge, ask questions that you had, and good luck, everyone. And I look forward to having a little bit of fun with this challenge with everybody.